You've been lied to about possibility. You think if something could happen, then it might happen. But what if I told you, if it doesn't happen, it was never possible in the first place? Sounds crazy, right? But what if this one idea could change the way you think about success, failure, and the choices you make? Today, we're diving into the forgotten wisdom of an ancient school of thought that rewrote the rules of logic, probability, and reality itself. All right, let's talk about the Megarians, the philosophical rock stars you've probably never heard of. Picture this, ancient Greece, a time when big names like Plato and Aristotle are hogging the spotlight, but in the background, a group of logic-obsessed thinkers is quietly laying the groundwork for what will one day become modern symbolic logic. Their leader? Euclides of Megara? No, not the famous mathematician, that's Euclid. This is a different guy, but trust me, his brain was just as sharp. After Socrates was executed, because Athens really sucked at handling smart people, Euclides packed his philosophical bags and started his own school in Megara. His big idea? That reality is just one big, unchanging, universal good, and if something isn't actual, then it was never possible in the first place. Sounds deep, right? Well, it only gets weirder. Unlike Aristotle, who loved talking about potentiality, like saying you could have gone to the gym today but didn't, the Megarians weren't buying it. If you didn't go to the gym, then it was never possible for you to go. Brutal. But they didn't just stop at ruining your excuses, they also revolutionized logic. Instead of Aristotle's syllogisms, which are basically fancy if-then statements, they focused on conditional logic, figuring out what it actually means for one thing to lead to another. This approach eventually inspired Stoic logic and even modern-day discussions about necessity, possibility, and free will. Enter Diodorus Cronus, one of their most infamous thinkers, who came up with the master argument. Sounds intimidating, right? It was. He argued that if something doesn't happen, it was never truly possible. So if you never became an astronaut, then, well, astronaut life was never in the cards for you. Sorry, NASA hopefuls. This strict, no-nonsense take on reality stirred up huge debates and made the Megarians notorious for their debating skills. They were so sharp in arguments that people started accusing them of being straight-up sophists, basically the ancient Greek version of internet trolls, but with a much better vocabulary. Despite all their contributions, the Megarians got overshadowed by more structured philosophical schools, and since they didn't leave behind many writings, most of what we know about them comes from critics who were not their biggest fans. But their obsession with precise logic paved the way for Stoic philosophy, influenced later debates on determinism and free will, and even echoes through modern analytic philosophy. So next time you're having a deep existential crisis, wondering if your missed opportunities were ever really possible, just remember, the Megarians would say, nope, they weren't. Now I'll leave you to debate in the comments. If you don't subscribe to this channel, was it ever truly possible for you to do so? Support us by subscribing if you haven't already. Take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, and I'll catch you soon in another video.